What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Freedom Fire Podcast. We want to stoke the flames of freedom every single day. My name is Kendall Bowman. And guys, I just want to start off this show with just one question. And I want you to answer me down in the comments your opinions on this. Which conflict do you think will come to the American soil first? World War III or Civil War? And the reason why I'm asking you that is because we got a couple of stories today that fall right in line with that. Starting with this from Al Jazeera, Russia claims 70 attackers killed in cross-border Belgorod raid. Russia has said more than 70 attackers were killed in its operation to repel cross-border raiders who entered the country's Belgorod region from Ukraine and battled with Russian forces for an estimated 24 hours before retreating from Russian territory. Now, Putin has previously said that in the past that the only reason why he would resort to nuclear weapons is if Russia itself, the existence of Russia itself was threatened. And that's important and for a reason I will tell you in just a minute. Russia said it had deployed jets and artillery on Tuesday to destroy the armed groups that penetrated the border region in the most audacious attack on Russian territory since Moscow launched its invasion of Ukraine last year. Authorities said 13 people were injured by artillery and mortar fire during the fighting and that a woman died during evacuations on Monday. A second civilian was reported killed in the village of Kozinka. 9 border villages were evacuated during the fighting, according to Russian officials. In total, more than 70 militants, 4 armed vehicles, and 5 pickups were destroyed today. The counter-terrorist operation has been canceled in the Belgorod region. Russia's state news agency RIA Novosti reported on Wednesday, referring to the attackers as a Ukrainian sabotage and reconnaissance group. Russia's defense ministry spokesman Igor Konashenkov, sorry, Russian names are difficult. No offense, Russia, but it's a little difficult. Said local troops, airstrikes, and artillery had routed the attackers, and what remained of the force was pushed back to the territory of Ukraine, where they continued to be hit by fire until they were completely eliminated. Members of the anti-Kremlin groups the Freedom of Russia Legion and the Russian Volunteer Corps claimed responsibility, while Kiev denied any involvement with the raid. We are not waging war on foreign territories, Ukrainian Deputy Defense Minister Gana Malyar said on Tuesday. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It matters very little what these people say, because Russia believes it was them. Therefore, in the minds of the Russians, it was them. Guys, you have to understand, this is war, and the truth doesn't matter as much in war. It doesn't. The Russians believe something, and there's not really anything that's going to change their mind. So what the heck? I mean, shoot, maybe it was the Ukrainians, but the overarching point that I want to make by sharing this story with you is that, once again, Putin said that the one reason why he would resort to nuclear weapons is if the existence of Russia was threatened. This meets that standard, in my opinion. It's getting to the point where the war in Ukraine is spilling over in a way that the Russian people don't want, that Putin doesn't want, that the oligarchs there in Russia do not want. Now, could this have been a rebel group inside of Russia, there was these 2 groups right here that took responsibility for it. I don't know if it was them. It could have been, sure, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because Putin believes, or at least he said that he believes, or his officials have said that they believe, that it was Ukraine. So it doesn't really matter what any of us think. They're the ones holding the nukes. It doesn't matter what we think, man. Guys, I personally believe that this war is either already at this point or is quickly coming up on the point where if these incursions into Russia start to become a regular occurrence, start to become a normal thing that happens regularly, it will leave Putin no choice but to fire a tactical missile or a tactical nuclear weapon. Now, for the people that don't understand this, there's a difference between a strategic nuclear weapon and a tactical nuclear weapon. A strategic nuclear weapon are the nuclear weapons that can let's just say they make the bombs that we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki look like hand grenades. Yes, they're that powerful. But then you've got tactical nuclear weapons that are, tactical artillery, nuclear artillery, things like that. That can be, I want to say they're around the same power as the first nuclear weapons that were used in World War II, maybe a little bit less. Okay, so they can be used in an area, right? But they won't wipe out an entire region like the strategic nuclear weapons can. My gosh, that's incredibly scary. My goodness, just the fact that we're even talking about this is insane. Yeah, guys, I personally believe that tactical nuclear weapons could absolutely be used in this war. And let's be honest. Let's just be honest here. If a tactical nuclear weapon wipes out a small city in Ukraine, does anyone seriously think that Poland is going to respond with a nuclear strike? Does anyone think that the U.S. is going to respond with a nuclear strike? I mean, guys, if a small city in Ukraine gets wiped out, there's no way the U.S. is going to respond with an ICBM and risk Russia sending an ICBM and, blasting Washington, D.C. Nobody's going to trade Washington, D.C. for some small city in Ukraine. It's not going to happen. So, I personally don't believe that the rest of the world would respond with nuclear weapons. However, what I do think would happen is that NATO would probably declare war on Russia, conventional war on Russia, which in that case, Russia doesn't really have much of a chance in that situation. Russia would struggle mightily against a conventional force summed up by NATO, which in that case, once again, the existence of Russia being threatened, you're going to get nukes on your doorstep. So, you'll be in a conventional fight where we're not willing to use nukes, but they are. Guys, this is getting out of hand. And I've made multiple videos about this because I think that it's important. I made this entire channel so that I could talk about things that I feel like are extremely important, that the government obviously is not going to talk to you about. The media is definitely not going to talk about it. The media has actually been pushing this crap. The church is not talking about these things because the church has become spineless. Guys, we are getting to a point where there will be tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands, maybe up into the millions of people in our country that are whisked away to go fight a war in a country that they can't even point out on a map. Let's be honest. How many Americans do you think could actually point out Ukraine on a map? Oh, but I bet they got opinions about it, though. Absolutely insane, man. But that wasn't the complete question that I asked you. I asked you which would come to American soil first, World War III or civil war. Now, I know what you're thinking. Kendall, why would you ask about civil war? Obviously, World War III is more likely with all these things that you've just stated. Well, Jimmy, we got this story as well from the Post-Millennial. Suspect in White House Gate U-Haul crash identified as Sai Varshith Kandula. The truck contained no explosives or weapons. The driver, who crashed a U-Haul into the security barriers near the White House on Monday evening, has been identified as Sai Varshith Kandula, 19, of Chesterfield, Missouri. According to Fox 5, Kandula was taken into custody at the scene and faces charges including assault with a dangerous weapon. Excuse me. Has something in my chest, guys. Kandula was taken into custody at the scene and faces charges including assault with a dangerous weapon, reckless operation of a motor vehicle, the threat to kill, kidnap, or inflict bodily harm on a president, vice president, or family, destruction of federal property, and trespassing. Carol Markowicz reported the suspect's identity, and this is a picture of the guy right here. A Nazi flag was allegedly found at the scene by authorities, according to NBC. And, they give this picture here where there's like the U-Haul truck and then there's a Nazi flag perfectly lying on the ground. Like as if it was just like this movie scene where a truck crashed into the gate and everything exploded and everything flew up in the air and then it just, slowly and perfectly fell down onto the ground and just lied there. Not a wrinkle to be found in the flag. Like, it's just, I'm sorry, guys. It was placed there for a photo op. Let's continue. One law enforcement official told NBC that Kandula had made threatening statements about the White House and was quickly detained. The official added that the truck contained no explosives or weapons. I find it hilarious that they can't tell you what those threats were or what those things were that he said. I find that hilarious. I don't think there's any place for a Nazi flag or the statements that he made, the official said. Okay. It's like I don't know who you're talking to, man. Everyone I know agrees with that. Anyway, I digress. Secret Service spokesperson Anthony Guglielmi, goodness gracious, that's a name, said that the truck crashed into the northern side of Lafayette Square at around 10 p.m. on Monday evening. Guglielmi said in a statement shortly before 10 p.m. Monday, Secret Service uniformed division officers detained the driver of a box truck after the vehicle collided with security barriers on the northern side of Lafayette Square at 16th Street. He added that there were no injuries and that the crash is under investigation, but added that the preliminary investigation reveals that the driver may have intentionally crashed into the barriers. May have. I mean, my gosh, man, if you're having to do an investigation about if the guy intentionally did something, but then in the other hand, you say that he had a Nazi flag and was saying terrible things about the White House. Open and shut case, Johnson. Like what are we talking about here, man? I'm gonna tell you guys this. Okay. I don't know many Nazis that look like this. Well, first of all, I'm just going to say I don't know any Nazis at all because I don't hang out with Nazis. But when I pull up a picture of a Nazi in my brain, this is not the image that comes up in my head. Okay? Tell me down in the comments if I'm wrong. But I do believe that the Nazis were, the Nazi groups, it was quite a white affair, okay? It was pretty dang white, and he don't look like it, okay? Now, of course, I could be wrong, but the internet, after this, Twitter was exploding, and it seems pretty obvious that this is a false flag. This is a false flag, guys. The left, of course, will scream, no, it's not. Indian people can be Nazis too. Sure, bud. Sure. Because an Indian guy is just going to go around and say that he himself as a race should be eradicated because that's what the Nazis believed. You idiots. Goodness gracious. I mean, maybe. I'd say that okay. The most likely thing that happened is the thing that takes the least amount of assumptions to get to. Okay? The least amount of assumptions. The most likely thing is that this is a false flag. The least likely thing is that this Indian person was convinced to become a Nazi and decided that he's going to, go attack the White House with no explosives or weapons. And he's just going to ram into a barrier with a Nazi flag because he's angry about something and he wants to spend the rest of his life in jail without hurting anybody and without actually getting a chance to hurt the president in any way because he has no explosives or weapons. It doesn't make any sense, man. It doesn't. It's not holding up. It's not holding water, guys. It's not holding up to scrutiny. Guys, now, once again, I could be wrong. I don't think I am. And I think that if anyone who just, uses the brain for half a second would agree, this looks like a false flag. And this is the reason why I believe that civil war, it might not happen tomorrow. It might not happen a year from now. It might not happen 5 years from now. But I think that we are on the cusp, the tipping point of civil war in this country. And it's because they are having to manufacture these things. They're having to manufacture hate from the right. Okay? Of course, we've had these events where, what's it called? This quote unquote white supremacist group. In the white masks with the blue jackets and the khaki pants, going on their little marches and stuff. We've had events where these people have been arrested in mass, and they're just sitting there with their hands behind their back. They're on their knees, but they've still got their masks on. And we've had former intelligence agent officials and former FBI law enforcement say, hey, that doesn't make sense. That would never happen in an arrest. There was no way that there's no way they would allow it. There's no way they would allow them to keep their masks on, definitely. And there's no way they would allow them to just be up on their knees looking around. They would have them on the ground in a secure position. It doesn't make any sense. And that's what I'm getting at. These people are manufacturing hate from the right. It's because the right's not doing anything, guys. They're going around saying, "Oh, the right is so hateful. They're so evil. They hate black people. They hate Hispanic people. They hate gay people. They hate trans people." But they're having to manufacture these things. On the left, you don't have to manufacture it. You just wait long enough and Antifa's going to burn down a police station. You wait long enough and a trans person with a mental illness is going to go into a Christian school and kill 3 children and three adults in Nashville, Tennessee. You don't have to manufacture hate on the left. They're just doing it. They're just going and killing people. That's what's happening. Antifa's killed a bunch of people. You've had multiple shootings from left-wingers. The guy up in Buffalo who shot up that grocery store, he was extremely racist. Of course, he went there specifically to kill black people, but he claimed himself to be a member of the left. In his own manifesto, he claimed to be a member of the left. So, My point is, you don't have to manufacture hate from the left. You do have to manufacture it on the right. You got to make stuff up. You got to do little false flags like this to make it look like the right is super violent. It's not reality, man. It's not happening. It's not real. Okay? This is a false flag. These other events, they're false flags. Now, it's not working. And that's the reason why I think civil war will eventually break out, because it's not working. The right is not responding in the way that they want. And ultimately, I think that we've got these intelligence organizations. I believe we've got the deep state. I believe we've got this unelected bureaucracy that runs our government. I think we've got them on the ropes. I do. And that's what scares me. That's what scares me, because a tiger backed into a corner is an extremely dangerous animal. Ultimately, I believe that if we get to the 2020... Now, I don't have any proof of this. I don't have any... This is just speculation. This is just me talking out of my head. Okay? This is what I believe is a possibility and could happen. Okay? Now, I could be completely wrong, and I actually hope that I am. Okay? I completely hope that I am. But I believe that if it appears that Donald Trump is going to win in 2024, I believe that the intelligence organizations, with the help of the executive branch, the president, the vice president, Secret Service, I believe that we could get some kind of what can I say? I believe we could get some kind of coup to disrupt or to destroy the Constitution, and some kind of event where they try to replace the government we have now with something different, and we would essentially have some kind of dictatorship where conservatives are, basically civil war is what I'm pointing at. I believe 100% that these people who have held power for so long are not going to want to give it up, and I absolutely believe they are willing to burn this country down in order to stay in power. Absolutely, 100%. I believe they are willing to do to cause a civil war in order to make that happen. Absolutely. Now, how it'll look, how it's going to happen, I don't know. I'm just speculating, guys. Like I said, I don't have any proof of this. Don't take my word for this, okay? I hope that I'm wrong. I really do. But these events, these false flag events, are not getting it's not getting the reaction out of the right that these people want, okay? They're trying to push people on the right to go and do bad things, because that's what people on the left do. They go burn down police stations. They go, they go kill conservatives. They go beat up conservatives in the street. I mean, that's what the left does. You don't have to manufacture hate from the left. You do have to manufacture it from the right. It's fake. It's not real. There's just not a whole lot of people on the right that are going out and doing stuff like this. So they have to fake it. They have to do false flag events. They got to get some Indian person to pretend to be a white supremacist, and then they just, lay out a little Nazi flag on there and take a picture. It's not real, guys. It's not reality. It's a false flag. And it's not working. And that's why I think that if there's a chance in 2024 where it looks like Donald Trump is going to win, I think they're going to burn the country to the ground. Or I think that they could. I think that they could make an attempt to. I don't know. I got no idea. I'm hoping I'm wrong on that, but that's just what I see in my brain when I think about stuff like this. So, my question to you stands. World War III or Civil War? What do you think comes to American soil first? I don't know, guys. Let me know down in the comments. I'm kind of leaning towards Civil War myself, just because, I mean, the likelihood of Russia or China or someone trying to make a land invasion in the U.S. is very low. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards Civil War. But tell me what you guys think down in the comments. All right, guys, that's going to be the show for today. I will have another show coming for you guys on Friday. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm not able to do this without you guys. I started this channel to talk about things that I feel like are important, and, I don't get a whole lot of views on my videos, but for the people that do watch, I really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, and share the show with your friends. Follow me on all the socials down in the description, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we put out new videos. Our goal is to reach 100 subscribers by the end of this year. So I know that you guys can meet that goal. I'm saying we regularly get, I've had videos that get way more than 100 views. So I know for a fact you guys can do that. Make sure you guys are following me on Rumble. Go follow me there and watch my videos there. Help us to fight back against the censorship that's here on YouTube. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.